Wait, before you scroll, this changes everything you thought you knew about the Pitt Season 3. As the final hour of a long shift winds down during the 4th of July episode, the energy inside the ER feels different, quieter, heavier, almost reflective. And at the center of it all is Dr. Samira Mohan. She's standing at a crossroads, questioning not just her future, but the kind of doctor she truly wants to become. Throughout the season, Samira has struggled with a growing sense of disillusionment. The reality of emergency medicine hasn't matched the idealism she once carried. She's faced moments where the care she could provide didn't feel like enough, and that weight has clearly taken a toll. At the same time, she's been navigating a complicated relationship with her mother, trying to balance expectations, identity, and her own sense of purpose. Then comes a quiet, deeply human moment that shifts everything. In a heartfelt conversation, Dr. Robby opens up to her in a way we rarely see. He admits that his life hasn't turned out the way he once imagined. He thought he'd be married by now, with kids heading off to college, maybe even a peaceful home with a pond where life felt stable and complete. Instead, he's standing there, alone, with none of those things. No wife, no kids, no pond. Samira listens carefully. Then she says something simple but powerful. It's never too late. That line lingers. You can feel it land, not just on Robby, but on Samira herself. It's as if in that moment she starts to see her own future differently, not as something already decided, but as something still wide open. The final scene we get of her is almost poetic. Fireworks light up the night sky as she stands with her fellow residents watching the celebration unfold. It's a classic 4th of July moment. Freedom, possibility, new beginnings. But there's also a quiet sense of goodbye woven into it. Because what viewers didn't know at the time is that this would be the last time we see Dr. Samira Mohan on the Pit. Shortly after the episode aired, the news dropped. On April 3rd, it was officially announced that Supriya Ganesh had exited the show ahead of Season 3. And just like that, everything changed. Fans were stunned. There had been no major hints, no dramatic send-off, just a subtle, emotional ending that now feels completely different in hindsight. So, what actually happened? When Noah Wyle spoke about the departure at Paley Fest in Los Angeles, he gave an explanation that, while unexpected, makes a lot of sense. He pointed out that the Pit is built as an ensemble drama set inside a high-pressure emergency room. And in real life, ERs are constantly changing environments. Doctors come and go. Residents rotate. Careers shift. In other words, turnover isn't just possible, it's inevitable. From a storytelling perspective, that creates a unique challenge. The writers have to balance realism with continuity, figuring out how much time can pass while still keeping the core group together. And sometimes that means making tough decisions about the cast. Noah made it clear that these changes aren't about replacing people, they're about keeping the story alive, bringing in new characters, promoting others, and evolving the narrative so it stays fresh and unpredictable. Still, he didn't hide how much Supriya meant to the show. He described her as a huge part of the Pit from the very beginning, someone he genuinely loved working with. And while her departure may fit the logic of the story, it doesn't make it any less emotional for those behind the scenes, or for the fans watching at home. As for Supriya herself, she hasn't directly addressed her exit in detail, but she did share something meaningful about where she hopes Samira's journey leads. She talked about wanting Samira to find a place where she's truly supported, where an attending believes in her, trusts her, and recognizes her potential in the ER. It's a subtle but important insight into the character's struggles, and it adds another layer to her decision to move on. Looking back now, that final episode feels less like an ending and more like a quiet transition. No dramatic exit, no big farewell speech, just a moment of reflection, a spark of possibility, and a character stepping into the unknown. And maybe that's what makes it hit even harder. Because in a show like The Pit, where everything moves fast and nothing is guaranteed, sometimes the most powerful goodbyes are the ones you don't see coming. Season 3 is already shaping up to be something very different. New faces, new dynamics, and a story that's continuing to evolve in ways no one can fully predict. But one thing is certain, Dr. Samira Mohan's presence will be missed. And wherever her story goes next, it feels like this isn't really the end.